Okay, welcome back to another episode of Shapez 2 1.0. So today, what we're going to be looking at is a factory, probably. Looks really cool. So I got a bunch of feedback and comments from you guys about how I can change the factory and optimize, oh, I don't know, say this whole mess. A lot of stuff about these pipes and how they're not, this is a bad example, but how they're not utilizing their full, yeah, you see how this pipe, it's got like liquid orbs coming in through it, but it's like so separated out that they're not like utilizing the full potential of the lane, and this one as well. I think also these lanes too as well, right? Even though these ones look like they're all jammed up, I think it's just because these factories were offline for so long that they got jammed up and now they're kind of backlogged. What we're gonna do today is we're not gonna touch any of this. Right, so I want to focus on getting the milestone things done, right? So like this new machine that we unlocked last time was like the pin pusher that creates these little platform things on the bottom of these shapes. And I just want to focus on unlocking this stuff down here just to sort of progress through the game. And I want to unlock some of the stuff that would be useful later on, like third level spaces and whatever crystals are and color mixing. So I think we're going to focus on getting this shape created, and then we're going to push forward. And I'm not going to do any of these guys yet because these guys only give us, the only reward for these is to have more platform capacity and more research points, which, as we can see up here, you know, we have 52,000 research points and we have 8,000 platform capacity, which is, I feel like that's plenty, right? That's more than enough to get at least this next thing done. So we don't need to focus anywhere on this. I do want to check the shop. So it'd probably be smart to get most of this stuff. I think one of the comments mentioned a wait stop where I can use this to stagger the trains down the lines. I think the fluid wagons would be good if we wanted to pump fluid into certain areas. I'm not really sure what the difference is between the spacer wagons or the wait stops, because isn't the spacer wagons, don't you just put these between the different wagons and they'll do the same thing where it kind of staggers the train? Oh wait, what is this actually? Unlocks a new train stop where trains will always stop and wait until fully loaded or unloaded up to 60 seconds. Interesting. So this was probably something, I'm just gonna unlock actually all of these. We have the money for it, why not? Get everything. I did that last time in the beginning and then I completely forgot that we had like a bunch of machines that I could have used. We'll get these guys too, just for funsies. Speed multiplier, train capacity. Oh, this one's 10 grand actually, holy smokes. Increases the speed of all machines and platforms. That actually sounds super useful. Train capacity would be nice. What does the train capacity do? Increases the amount of packages that a train wagon can carry per machine level. So does this mean that one train could load up on multiple? Because this train down here, right, if we look at it, we have like 4 trains going, and each of these trains can hold, you know, 4 wagons of material as they're moving along, as we can see here by this train that I'm following. I like that we can see the like the void fish, you know, in the background. That's really cool. It's like the shaped version of the void fish. It's kind of nice. But we have these trains going along, and if we look back at this whole thing, you know, we have all of these containers that are getting fed from the exotic goods factory down here, right? And we have like a ton of trains, so I don't know if we need this many trains or if we can just utilize those upgrades that we just got. Now we did get the train stop, right? What does that do? Stops the trains here until they're fully loaded. So if I put like a train stop here, does that mean that the next train that comes is gonna stop until all of the material is loaded up onto it? Because that would be nice. That would be really nice, because then I could probably take away the some of these guys, right? Now if I put the train stop there and I put the wait stop also here, right? So let's do the wait stop here. Now when our material finally gets there. Jeez, it takes forever for them to get there. Where are the returning trains? I want to see one of these stops actually working. Are these guys actually going? Where are these trains? It looked like there was only 4 trains on the thing, right? So we got a couple of those. Oh no, I missed it. Well, did I? Yeah, here they're going back. Well, that sucks. But there's only like 4 trains here, right? There's these 4 here, and then there's this 5th one. That's 5. But I have like depots for multiple trains, unless I missed them coming back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like I have these 8 trains. Where are the other 3? Okay, here comes one. So now we can see the wait stop in action. Here we go. Okay, so it like fully loaded up on like however many you can take, which is 3. Oh, that's super nice actually. Interesting. So now when they get to their destination, they're gonna unload like 3 times as much material per train. Holy smokes, dude, that's super good. Why haven't we been doing this since the beginning of time? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because at the beginning of time, the caveman didn't invent the wait stop yet. We had to wait until... Who was that guy that made all those trains? P.T. Barnum? Probably not. I'm sure it was from that era. Ayn Rand, he was the one that made all those train things, right? Atlas Shrugged, however that book goes. I didn't read it because I heard it's really boring, but isn't there trains in that book? Anyway, jeez. That was kind of a tangent that I went on. So we're gonna leave all of this factory here doing what it's supposed to be doing, right? Because right now, this whole thing is creating legacy items for us. These items that we are producing that were milestone items that we can continue to produce to gain 5,000 at a time when we hit the next quota. And with this whole thing, the idea is this entire area around the vortex is probably going to be destroyed eventually, and then we're going to create all of our shapes at distant lands. We're not going to have production near the vortex. It's going to be the same sort of concept. So in the first episode when we built all of our factories on top of the vortex platform, and then you know, when you have all the factories here, you can't pipe in these conveyor belts to feed the vortex, right? Because you have so much production happening right next to it. If you scale that out even bigger, you know, you have all of these factories here and all of this production happening on like the outskirts of the vortex, that it's going to be hard to truck material into it. So eventually all of this will get destroyed. And then we're just going to have like train depots that are going to stop here, deliver material to sacrifice into the vortex, and then the trains will be our main source of moving goods around, right? Now, we're going to leave this here for now because we're going to focus on creating exotic factories for these shapes, for the pin pushers. And for now, I know that this isn't as optimized as it should be, but we're just going to leave it because it will get torn down eventually. So the idea here now is to focus on creating another factory that can create... I want to find an area that we can create this entire shape and then create one factory that will basically produce this shape. So if we look at this, the first shape that we need is a blue square with pins on the bottom of it, right? And a green circle with pins on the bottom of it. Okay. The blue square will then get stacked on top of half of a star after it gets ripped in half. Okay. And the green circle is just going to get stacked on top of another set of pins. Right? So let's try to find these raw shapes. And we can build the factory around square, circle, and star shapes somewhere. So here we have a square. Here's a square as well. So a square next to blue is going to be good. Here's a circle next to green, which is good. We do need that. And then we have... Oh, look at this. So we have a half circle here, which is what we need. And we have a half star, which is also what we need. So if we look at our legacy items, this is kind of just planning ahead. We need half circles and we need half stars to complete this cool looking badge. So if we just create a factory here that can rip this in half, we'll have exactly what we need, right? We'll have half circles and half stars, and then we can have the green paint the circles. The stars we can send somewhere else. And then all we need to do is paint these squares with this blue, and then from there we can truck that material like all the way over here with the train and then deposit it into the vortex. So I think that's what the plan is here. Let me get I think we can do one of these. So let's go with the blue-green badge factory. So we can create, you know, bookmarks that I know that this is going to be like the blue-green badge factory. Now, I did do a little bit of practice in my practice factory, just to sort of see if I can optimize some of the factories that I have already created. With the introduction of these third machine levels, this means that we can create a platform that has conveyors going up 3 levels, right? Which is great. So now we can utilize a full belt worth of space belt. So like 1, 2, and 3 lanes, we can get all of that going. And I created a couple blueprints. I've created some minor blueprints that are like 1 lane, 2 lane, 3 lane, fluid and regular mines. And then I've created, what have I created? Oh yeah, trash. So this is going to help us test out the throughput of our factories. If you imagine just material coming in here, getting distributed, we can see if all of these lanes get filled up before we even put it onto a train or whatever when we go. So with that in mind, let's start mining some of this stuff. So we have, I think what I'm going to do here actually is like create a different, wait, how's this? Okay. So this one is the miner that has the first floor, like right, the number 1 lane, and then we have the same thing but for a number 2 lane. Whoops. And then we have the same thing but for a number 3 lane. So like so. So if we could imagine all of these guys going into one sort of pipe. And then if you imagine the trash that I've created, right? Let me empty this real quick. Now we can see that all 3 lanes are getting utilized. Guess it might be better if this was like further down. So like all 3 of these lanes are getting utilized here, right? And they're going into this. And then once all of the conveyors get like filled up, we can see that the whole production line is like 100% good. Now, what some of the viewers mentioned in the comments last time was that I am not utilizing the full potential of the space belts. So what that means is we can see that when the material goes onto the belt, right, coming off of here, and it goes onto this belt, right, you can see that it drops some material here, and it drops some here and here and here. But there's this huge gap between them, right? If we stop this space belt, you can see that they're like, we have one whole row, and then there's like a gap of 3, and then another whole row from the production that we're creating. Right now, when your belt gets fully saturated like this, and you have like a bunch of material on it on a backlog when there's nowhere for it to go, and then you hook it up again, it looks like it's a full belt, right? It looks like it's a full belt, which is kind of tricky because you think that this one is like, oh yeah, that's good, I have like full production happening here, but that's actually not, because you're still only producing like 1/4 of what this belt can supply. So if we look at this, I don't know what these freaking numbers mean, man. Like 480 a minute per base speed, which I think, actually now that I'm thinking about it, which one of these, 45 a minute or 30 a minute base speed for the mini miners, which is for a full set of 4 is how many? 120. So then you have 120 times 4, 480. But then this thing says that it's supplying 480, right? 480 per minute base speed. But then it also says times 12. If someone could help me out with the math on this, I think what is happening here is that this thing is producing a 1/4 amount of how much you can send on a space belt, and I'm basing that solely on like the gap, right? The distance of the material. So like we have that, and then there's like three open gapages happening. So with that said, if we take this and duplicate this like 3 more times, like so, I don't like that it's like so off balance. It looks so weird. Like so, and then if we squeeze them all into the same lane, now this should fully saturate this line, right? Put our trash way over here. Once the production of all of this reaches up to the top, okay, like so. So now all of our lanes, all of the production that we got from those miners is filling up all of this. Now, as you can see, it's like stopping, right? We can see that there's like some staggering and that we're getting like a backlog of material eventually that's going to happen. As you can see here by this curve, this like backlog is happening here. What's happening is that now that we've supplied this with 4 times the output, 4 times the input onto the line, and since this platform can only take 1/4 of the full output of this conveyor belt, it's running out of speed. It's like getting stuck there. So if we just take this and do something like this, let me clear the contents of all that. So this one will take 1/4 of the load, this one will take 1/4, this one will take 1/4, and this one will take 1/4, which will match the inputs that we have, right, of our mining situation here. So this is kind of I think I've done this right? This lane should get like completely full with the material, and there should be no backlog because it's all getting sent into this, right? If we just wait a little bit for this lane to get full, and then we can see these trash bins that I've created. Now you can see that the first one here is getting a little bit of a backlog, but it should be fine because all of that backlog, the 3 extra ones that it's getting produced, is going to go all the way down to here and then get pushed down further into the other ones. So this one is fully completed, right? It's dumping all of the correct material. There's no gaps. Then the next one, no gaps. Next one is no gaps. And then the final one is no gaps. So this is a much more optimized version of how you can converge the shape onto just one belt at a time and then simply separate them. So if we go back to the main factory here, it was over here, right? We can probably do a similar thing where like all of this is happening on separate lanes and then coming down and then like diverging into different areas. It would be smart just to throw all of these guys onto one lane, like right here, drop that lane here, and then separate them down this line, right? Because then you would get the same amount of material moving that direction, but you wouldn't need to take up 4 lanes of highway to do that. I guess that's the concept of converging them all into the same space belts, right? We're not going to do that right now. Like I said, I'm just going to leave this because I know that this is all working. Even though it's inefficient, we're just going to leave this here to get the legacy items going. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this factory as a blueprint, right? And then what we can do is, I think we can just name this one like that. Here's your miner, or here's your belts. Here's your miner, and here's your booster. And then we can throw that one onto the miners folder. And then you can just drag these folders down here into your blueprint hotkey bar, which is kind of convenient. So now we have a miner full belt. So now we can use this anytime that we need to get shapes. So for example, what did we say that we wanted? This shape here. All right, we can do something like this. So 4 of these will supply 1 full belt. Now the idea is also that we want to do the same sort of situation for the miners, but for the fluid miners as well. We'll do that right now. So miner, fluid miner here, 2 lane, and then the 3 lane. Now the fluid is a little bit different, right? Because I think these can contain like way more throughput than the space belt shape material belts. So like 450 liters per minute times 4 is 1800. Is that correct? And the pipes supply infinite throughput. So we have 1800 for these four. 1800 times 4. So then we have 7200 going onto this lane. 7200 times 3. 21,600 times 2 is 43,200. Okay, so what did I just do here? What did I figure out? It's that... I think what I figured out was that this space pipe, right? This whole main space pipe can supply 6 versions of this factory? Is that how it goes? Right, so on a smaller level... Grab these real quick. On a smaller level, 7,200. Do we have the labeling system? I get that. I need to write this down on the machine so I don't forget it. Here we go. I wish that was centered. That would be nice. Just put it like right here. Can I, how do I type this? 7,200 per miner platform. 7,200 times 3, right? For these 3 of them. 2126 times 2 is 43. So does that mean that this pipe can only supply the material for this? Like if this all gets trucked into one pipe, is that all it can supply? I guess what we can do is just like, I don't think you can throw away liquid. So what I'm gonna do is just send that way over there and then clear these contents. And then I'm gonna see if the material that we're getting, the fluid material, like fully completes all of these lanes. Let's see here. Now we can still see gappages, right? There's still a bit of gappages happening here. Oh, but it supplies 43,200 times 12. So I wonder if it can do, if it takes this and then just, it can take 12 of this. Is that how that works? Either way, I'm going to save this design. The miner fluid full belt. We can do, how did I do this last time? How did I probably one of these and one of these like that? And then we can move that up into the miner section. Nice. So now we have our miners, our full belt fluid miners and our full belt regular miners. We probably actually don't even need these ones, but I'm gonna leave them there anyway, which is good. I mean, it's a full belt because it utilizes the 3 lanes, but we're gonna need like a bajillion of these to actually get a fully like filled to the brim space belt or space pipe, whatever it's called. Now what were we doing with this? Let's just get a whole bunch of these, I think, because I think this thing can like supply a whole bunch of green. We just like pipe all of these in together. I'm pretty sure this is how it works, right? They can all just do that. I can see they're getting more liquid fluid onto the this actual pipe. I don't know if that's the full, I didn't count, so I don't know if that's the full one, but it looks like there are still gappages. For now it should probably be fine though. And then what did we need? We needed blue as well. Blue here. This blue one's gonna go to this factory for the square shapes, something like that. Now it's probably gonna be smart for me to like calculate exactly how many I need for each platform, for each painter platform, right? For now, I think what we're gonna do is just paint these things in an unoptimized way and then figure it out later, like I always do. So what we're gonna do is look at, I have a painter platform, right? One of these. Now, this is pretty unoptimized. This is not a very goodly optimized thing. How can I fix this? There's so much wasted space with the conveyor belts, right? So I think what I'm going to try to do is, I like the idea of having like the liquid input on one side and then the material input on the other side. I think there's like a better way to do this though, because these guys here, these machines can like stack. So if you grab these and then just like stack them on top of each other, right, we can like double the output here. If you do that and then stack it to the third space, that'd be pretty good. If we can figure out a way to like utilize, if we can figure out a way to utilize all of the shape lanes, because this is a full lane here, so we would want to use all 3 levels for the painter, right? The problem is that you have like the pipe, right? The pipe is like right in the way of like the second level. So like imagine if you were to take all of these conveyor belts, right? If you were to take all of these guys here, going into those machines, and then just copying it up a level, like so, we wouldn't have anywhere to put this material, right? Because it would go straight into the machine, or it would go straight into the pipe. And then equally so on the back end. So if you were to take this or do something like that, which is what we would probably want, but how would I get the pipe going? I guess what we could look at is like, how does this look? It's probably a better way to do this, right? If we had a conveyor belt here, we'll just, and then this is kind of pretty poorly optimized, so we'll just imagine a space belt going into there, and then a space pipe going into there. And then if we have conveyors going here, as we can see here, the conveyor belts are like completely impeding where the pipe would want to go. Is this even the right way to do it? Let's see. If we remove this, we would need to create some sort of, let me grab this just so I know where not to build, because we're going to need this pipe as well, right? We're going to need these pipes to be pumping the fluid into the machines. What if it's smart to just get the pipe going first and then do conveyor spaghetti? Or if we can do conveyor first and then the pipe spaghetti? Let me actually just remove this. Let me just start over completely. Okay. The other thing is that I don't even know if this is like the proper layout of the painter objects themselves, right? We also have these belt launchers, which I think the belt launcher can catch material like one away from it, can it? Like if you imagined material coming in, I guess we could just hook this up and then experiment with it right now, right? Okay, so yeah, the belt launcher here can like fling the material over like that by one. Ooh, you know what? That could be super useful, because if we had the pipe going like this, right? We had a pipe going like that into this material. Okay, hold on a second. This is actually kind of smart. Well, first we need to figure out how many we can get. So one of the conveyor belts can supply 4 machines, right? That's what it says here. And then one of these fluid catchers can supply 4 machines, right? Which means that the 4 on top can supply this entire top level of machines. Okay. Now, if that is the case, what if we just launch them like right here? Like what if we just take, sorry, I'm trying to think this through in a logical way. If we had like belt catchers, like here, and a belt launcher, like here. But what do we need to throw? Oh wait, can we throw the, oh, we can throw the paint. Hold on. Oh my goodness. But then we would, okay, so the pipe would like come in through here, right? And it would throw some of it that way. The issue is that we have all of these conveyors also. So like if you took this one, would need to supply like these 4 machines. So it would need to be something like this. Interesting. And then we can stack this all on top of each other, right? Like if we had this material. Oh, but this one's gonna be tricky because that guy has to, it needs like a little ramp up, right? Like I don't think that we can ramp in that direction without breaking this thing. Well, that might be fine. What if we just move this factory like slightly further back? Instead of going here, we can go like right here, and then we can get a launcher going. We need, this might be an issue as well. So if we do something like this, we would need the launchers here, and then grab these guys like that. I guess I could have just grabbed all of the pipes anyway. Oh dude, this is great. Look at this. Because then can't we just like pipe this straight over? Oh, we need that. Because the pipes, as long as they're connected, we don't need to separate them like here, right? As long as the pipe is connected, it will go all the way over to this side. Holy cow. So let's just grab all of this material. Oh dude, the little ramp guys are so convenient, right? Look at that. And then on the back end, we're gonna need to just pipe them all into the same thing, I think. So we're gonna have to go like this. Oh my god. That's so good. Look at that, dude. Wait, this painter is amazing. It's like so perfectly stackable. Like the input, I get like, you could probably actually condense this into like a way smaller area, right? I wonder if you can get this. I feel like this takes up so much space though, doesn't it? If you were to try to condense this all onto a 1x1, how would that even work? This doesn't even fit fully on a 1x1 itself. I don't know. But let's hook up the trash, right? Our 3-lane trash. And then we can see if the whole outputs are exactly what we need. So we know that this is fully optimized now, this whole belt. So when the material comes in, this is probably also fully, well, it's not fully optimized, but we do have like a bunch of liquid water going into it. So once this machine catches up with all of the material that it needs, which should happen pretty good, right? Can't tell, is there gappages in there? It looks like they're fully utilizing the conveyor. Dude, I love the little disc thrower. It's so nice. It's really satisfying to look at. Just something that like shoots it across. Also having the third factory floor is super convenient as well. Now, what's going on with you? Is this how it should be going? Is it utilizing all of the fluid properly? Well, I guess so, because this one's catching the fluid, right, and then going down. And then these pipes here are like perfectly full with liquid. And then these ones are perfectly, well, they're going down, but they're getting filled up immediately before we run out of fluid down the line. Dude, nice. Okay, this is great. I think this is a really good like factory that we've just created here. There's like more optimized painter. And as we can see, our output, right, is going like perfectly utilizing all of these lanes. There's no gappages, no stoppages, no hang-ups anywhere. This is exactly what we want. So if that is the case, what we need to do now is create like a pin machine behind this. Let's just do that real quick. I'm actually gonna save this as like a new factory, as like a painter. Painter 3-layer. We can do, what would be the painter symbol for this guy? This 3-layer painter. Then I'm gonna do like a liquid one. Well, we can do object on the left because that's our input, and then the fluid on the right, right? So that's also our input. I think that makes sense. Yeah, our uncolored object is gonna go into the left side, and then our fluid is gonna go into the right side. And then we can save that. I should just make a new folder for paint. So here's your painter, here's another one, here's another one. So now, like this one, it's basically just taking the old one that we've had and then like just stacking it on top of each other, but in a more optimized manner. Now we have our old legacy painter and our 3-layer painter. And then this was the super old legacy painter, where we did it in like the most unoptimized way possible. Look at this, we've condensed this whole thing into like one floor. So what I'm going to do is create a pin factory, and that might be it for this episode. I'm running out of time here. Grab these and throw them here. And now for the pins, I think it's over here. They can utilize 3 per conveyor belt, right? So with this we can go like, this one should be really quick. So, and then I think we can just stack these ones all on top of each other, like so. It should be giving us the full potential of these guys here. Go. Here we go. Save this one. Well, we should test it first, right? So now we have the pinned objects, which is exactly what we need. And we are, since this was a fully optimized line coming into this side of the factory, this one should be fully optimized going out. Nice. Nice. Okay, so that's great. This is amazing. So let's save this one as a pinner. A pin pusher. What are these things called? What are these things called? Yeah, pin pusher. Okay. Okay, so I think that's gonna actually do it for this episode. The next one is just gonna be me setting up, well, I guess let me just actually do that right now. So let's go to like, is that the most optimized way to do this? Just to lift the liquid up and then dump it into this? I think so. Then what we can do is like truck those ones in. Well, now I just want to finish this. Wagon, let's get the wagon loaders. So now we can just take like a train station. Where is this going? To there. Oh my goodness, where are we? What am I looking at? Train can go here. I think I'll put it like here. It's gonna be a sweet jump right across all these weird highways. We can probably like just destroy some of this because some of these shapes that we don't need anymore, or that we're only halfway utilizing, like this, right? Even though we probably want that, we can for now get our... This is the idea of creating like a depot, right? Where you have just like these shapes that are gonna get dumped in en masse straight into the thing as soon as we hook the train up. Let me oh my god, it's gonna take so long to get that too. And then these guys can go directly into that one, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can get a locomotive going, right? I'll put it one back just in case I get another train going. 4. So 4 of that will go here. Now I'm wondering if I need multiple trains for this line, because this is gonna take a while to fill up. I think he's gonna go before he's actually fully loaded up, which is probably gonna be fine because he'll take some of these shapes to where we need them to be. We have the cargo going for all of these, what are these things called? Wagons? Is that what they're called in real life? Are these like parts of the trains called wagons in real life? They're like, I guess. I feel like I've never thought that they were called wagons before. Compartments? Is that a better? I don't know what I'm talking about. We have, I think we have train speed, right? Unlocked. Train capacity, train speed is all the way unlocked. So this thing, oh god, it already left. It's going so fast. Okay, nice. And then down here we can see, yes, all of our outputs. Oh, wait a second. We need like a whole 3rd level here. Now that we've got the 3rd level space, let's get all of this like so. Look at this, dude. Look at how full these lanes are. We should probably actually figure out a way to converge these lanes, because they're only utilizing, you know, 2 lanes. We can converge them into 3-lane highways and then save space for our new materials that are coming in. Dude, that was so fast. We put that factory together pretty quick, right? And now we have the goods flowing into the sacrifice pit. Flowing. It's gonna be so satisfying getting all of these things like fully completed, having just like non-stop shapes flying into the thing. Holy smokes. Nice. Now I wonder, okay, so this is probably gonna get like filled up pretty quick. Dude, having that extra cargoes going onto the train is so nice. Look at this. We probably want to get another full thing, right? We want to get another train capacity. Why don't we just get all of them? Let's just get all of them, so that way these trains get fully loaded by the time they get to the end, their end destination. Okay, so that was really good. This was a very productive session here. Now that we've actually figured out more solid optimization for, well, one for converging lanes, right, into one full lane instead of having like 4 lanes coming out of this whole nonsense. Now we have like one full lane, and then getting this really optimized painter, right? It's a really good factory that we built here. And then the train capacity is all good. So I think I'll leave it at this for today. And then on the next one, we'll just expand this side of the factory. Well, now we're gonna have to rip them in half and then put them onto the stars, but that'll be for the next time. We'll optimize this to get our green circles and our half stars. We're just gonna rip these in half, and it should be really relatively simple. So thank you for joining me for this episode of Shape Z2 1.0. Now join me next time, where we'll be getting this whole factory here is going to be one shape, right? And it'll be just for that legacy item. And then we can probably do the same treatment for all of the other legacy item shapes. Instead of having the production here, we might be able to like pocket them out to different sections of the universe, and then clean up this whole mess. But that'll be for next time. Join me next time. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, if I missed something, if you have any like suggestions about what I can do to like optimize I guess the spaces and the machines and belts and everything, just leave it down in the comments. I do read them all. I try to comment on, or I try to respond to all of them. So thank you guys for all of the feedback and help, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.